Hi everyone. I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat my cake later. Chan. Anyway, someone asked me because he's planning to take his girlfriend to US, and then he's asking me what type of degree or course can his girlfriend get so that his girlfriend can work in USA. So first of all, that's a really nice idea right there. But since we're talking about work, I don't want to talk about work. Anyway, I'm gonna mention the countries and what types of jobs are there. Now, where did I base this? I based them from the Filipinos that I know who are working abroad. Most of them my friends or friends or friends relatives, and some of them I knew about them through advertisements and of course this site. This is work abroad. It is, it is verified by our government, Philippine Overseas POEA, Philippine Employment P of Philippine Overseas Employment Agency. So yeah, if you have a Filipino friend or someone, let them check this site and just click the country and then it will show the types of jobs and you will see which are majority and which one are accepted mostly, something like that. At this site too, if you have a friend who wanted to work in another country, you can also recommend this site so they can apply online or go to the agency in Manila. Just make sure that they apply the one accredited by Philippine Overseas Employment Agency. It's very important because it will help them. They will have a record that they left the country, and then if something happens to them, our government can help them easily because some are illegal, right? So it's my government. If something happens to that person, my government will just find out after that person got hurt or died. It's because they didn't have a record. So, yeah. It's embarrassing. My mess. Sorry about that. Anyway, the first one, I'm gonna talk the one in, of course, where I am right now in Japan. In Japan, if you are in Japan or if you have a girlfriend who wants to come to Japan, the jobs are nurse, caregiver, English teacher, and factory workers. Of course, we still have entertainers, but Japan right now is very strict about that. So the percentage, it's more on factory workers, nurses, and then caregivers, and then entertainers, and then teachers. Although we are increasing in numbers, these are the hired ones. The salary range usually for entertainers, of course, it's they have tips. I'm not really sure. Some it's really big, maybe $2,000 to $3,000 a month. For factory workers, $1,500 a month. For domestic helpers, they get $1,300 to $1,200 a month, sometimes $1,000. And then for uh, for teachers, it depends on the company. Sometimes they would pay you $2,000. Sometimes, because you are not a native speaker, they would just pay you 1,800 or $1,700 a month. Guess mine. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Now that is Japan. Now in Korea, it's almost similar, but they don't really accept nurses and caregivers. Oh, by the way, nurses, it's also $1,500 to $2,000 a month. So Korea, for Korea, they would accept English teachers, although some of them still don't want it, but some are able to teach in Korea. And also domestic helpers, but they aren't that much yet. And of course, factory workers. Actually, in Korea, we have a lot of factory workers, and yeah, they work for the big companies right there, Samsung, like that. Or I don't know, in Clark, we have two Korean factories, and sometimes they send their employees to Korea. So it's an opportunity, right? Then Taiwan, Thailand, and Vietnam. Taiwan, it's factory workers, and yeah, just factory workers. Those are the most popular. Welders, skilled workers, you know, those everything about technology. That's what they do. And then Vietnam and Thailand, they can be English teachers. As long as you have a degree, you get a good company. As for the salary, I'm not sure how much, but I think they are not very picky when it comes to your degree. As long as if you have a degree, you're good to go. Unlike in Japan and in Korea, they really need like English degree, and then if it's better if you have a license or TESOL. So later I'm going to be telling you what courses you can take. The next one is Singapore. Singapore usually is hospitality jobs. Of course, there are a lot of, domestic helpers as well. And most of them are just under the hospitality department, like, the chef or cooks, or, what do you call that? The people under the cooks, something like that. And waitresses at the hotels, and yeah, some even work at the call centers in Singapore, and some, I have a friend, she even visited me here in Japan. I'm so happy. She's working in Singapore as a graphic designer. Anyway, since we were in high school, she's really creative, so unlike me, I can't even draw a stick figure. Anyway, uh let's go to the like Middle East, like United Arab of Emirates and Dubai and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, I heard usually they are domestic helpers, but many of them also are like AutoCAD or engineers, and some people in the office. There are a lot as well. My uncle, and then I have three friends working for as in the office, like filing documentation, like that. And then some of them are also working at the hospitality department, which is waitressing or front desk. Sometimes they are also working as sales ladies at the shopping malls or fast food. So for their salary, I'm sorry, for the other countries like Singapore and Asia, usually $1,000 to $1,200, $1,500. Anyway, the salaries in Middle East usually $1,000 to $1,500 as well. That's why they're willing to stay longer. So those are the jobs. And then next one, yeah, also Middle East, they also like nurses. I have a friend who is nursing, but she's working there at a clinic, but she's also taking a test so that she can work as a nurse in, yeah, in somewhere in the Middle East. So I heard that even if you have a nursing degree, you still have, and a license, you still have to take another one, which is, it makes sense. And then for US and other Western countries, usually it's caregiver. Oh, I'm sorry. Middle East, they're also looking for English teachers. I don't know about their qualifications, but I also know some people who are teaching there. Anyway, let's go. Yeah, US and other Western countries. Western countries, usually they are looking for um, caregivers, nurses, teachers, and other. No, those are just the popular three I know. Probably there are other jobs, but I don't know them. The reason why I know them is I have friends who are there. So the caregivers, look, it's not really bad to work there because you're taking care of the old people. Older people, they are like the foundation of a country. They also help the economy. So I don't think some, Filipinos would look down on caregivers. But in my case, I took care of my grandma. So my father's side, I think, it's not bad. She's my grandma. And I wasn't paid. So yeah, caregivers, and then some are nurses. As you know, United States, there are a lot of nurses, and some are also working as sales ladies, but I guess you need to, yeah, it took time for my friend to get that job because she had to, mm, yeah, she married her husband, but her husband is, not American, just a Filipino who happens to have who got a American citizenship, and then they stayed there, and then they got a green card, blah blah blah. Anyway, she's a sales lady, so probably, and waitressing. Those are the jobs that some Filipinas can get. And of course, nursing, I said it's popular. So the salary, they said it's really big, like $2,000 to $3,000. I really don't know. I'm not a nurse, but that's the gossip before. That's why, schools started offering a lot of nursing courses just to accommodate those people. But if I'm not mistaken, they have to take another test, right? In US itself. And then the last one is uh yeah, teaching. Mathematics and I don't science. I don't know about English if there are Filipino teachers in English in US, but a lot of teachers in the Philippines, like teacher for mathematics and science, they are being hired. My aunt, she's a principal now in the Philippines, but when she was still working like head teacher for a public school, uh, you know, someone offered her a job in United States because she's handling mathematics. So I think this also applies in Canada and other countries. But of course, when they are in your country, they can find a job. Just direct them properly to the right jobs. And Filipinos are not picky. Now, what kinds of courses would they take? So with all the words that I said, I guess my the steps or five course would be nursing. You can ask them to take nursing or caregiver course. Nursing is about 4 years, and then they have to review for 6 months, and then they have to take the licensure exam, unless they don't want to have a licensure exam. And then when they go to the United States, unless the hospital is, not very picky, some of them still has to take another exam to work as a nurse in the United States or even in Japan. In Japan, actually, they're gonna hire. It's more difficult, not difficult. After they get the license in the Philippines, they're gonna study for about 6 months language to 1 year. And unless you can't read or write Japanese, they're not gonna give you a job because it's very important because it's health, right? So that one. And then the next one is caregiver. Caregiver course. Before caregiver was only like 2 weeks course, but nowadays it became 6 months. So yeah, they can take caregiver courses, and we later I'm going to talk about the free one. And then of course you can ask them to take HRM or hospitality management, so that if they want to work in a hotel or a restaurant like that, it's also a good option, right? And education, if they're good in math or English or anything, education, I guess it's much better for them to take the secondary and without a major, just for all the subjects. It would give them more opportunities. Unlike if you have a major, you really have to focus on this. But I think if you're at the primary, that's more difficult. I was supposed to take that, but I found it difficult. So, and it takes time. I don't like things taking time. So that one, uh, you can ask them to take the like course for primary. So yeah. I also, and the prices are here. The primary is primary education for teaching. It will handle all subjects, and it's really good for them, right? Or childcare education or special teacher as a special education teacher, something like that. Those things, and then if they are planning to teach English in another country, let them take TESOL. TESOL is like a certification because we are not native speakers. So being not native speakers, we need a lot of papers to prove that we can teach. And usually companies would look at your papers first because before they look at your face or your capabilities. So yeah. And another degree would be I'm not gonna say, yeah, You can ask them to take web designing if they like it, or, you know, culinary and other skills like, beauty, something like that. I also know many Filipinos working at beauty shops. And yeah, culinary is very good because, for example, she really doesn't want to work outside. Let's say you have children, culinary degree would give them certification so that they can offer services for catering for other Filipinos in the country. Because some Filipinos are working too hard, but they still want to celebrate something, so they want to cook. So they can offer that. I have a lot of friends even here in Japan. There's one friend. She's teaching, but her sideline is, making cakes, and she's earning from it. Sometimes, she would accept 10 to 20 orders, for a month. So that's really good, right? She can also do that, or make shomai, something like that. I have another friend in the United States. She makes shomai, or, certain dishes, and then she will deliver it, and then they'll pay her. And also cakes. So, of course, she's gonna offer it cheaper and Filipino taste, So I guess I already gave you those options. And where can they study? Of course, they can study in schools. Some, for example, nursing and teaching, they are usually studied, in universities and schools, and they need to take a license. So it's gonna take more time, like it depends on them, 5 years probably. But for other courses, it's easier. Now, let's say you're in a hurry and you're really, 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 let's say within 6 months she's about to leave. If she cannot take a caregiver course, this is the best option. She can take with TESDA. TESDA is our government's free education for Filipinos who wanted to go abroad, and they will get a certification. I think this is the best one, and most companies, even, many Filipinos, when they try to apply on their own, not applying when they are in another country already, they would, take TESDA, and then they're going to give them a certificate, because usually the companies, they would look at that certification. Usually courses would last for about 1 to 2 months, and they are usually taken over the weekends, like twice a week, 4 hours a day, and they're only going to focus on skills. Let's say if she doesn't have time to take HRM, she can take that short course for, sometimes there's a fee like 2,500 pesos. That's the highest one that I heard. Or yeah, she can take that one, like caregiving course or childcare course. And then they also have, for nails, and then housekeeping course, even cooking course, culinary, but I think you have to be at the physical location. But some they can take it online. This is the site. You can check it out, please. TESDA. So if they have time, they can take that short course, and then even they can take it online, and then just go to the physical office to take the exam to get his or her certificate. At the same time, they can also get, like, they can also study other, like, culinary, like that. And, those short courses, grooming, like that, pet grooming, they can all study it there for free. So please check it out. This is very important, even bartending, because many of the Filipinos, really, even if they have a degree, some agencies would ask them for this certification, and then they would still take it. Because this certification is all about, they only focus on one thing. There are no other subjects, only that. Unlike when you take a degree, first 2 years, just general knowledge, but your main course would start from 3rd to 4th year. So I hope that helped. Sorry it's so long, but I hope the person who's gonna go to another country, you will get a job. It's, yeah, financial freedom. I'm kidding. Anyway, happiness.